UFC Iowa was this weekend, and for this card, I'll be giving you my full card review and my co-main and main event fights to make after this pretty mediocre card. We saw a lot of fraud checking. We saw boy I got alcohol or fuck I messed it up. I'm not restarting this again. But yeah, we saw that guy DeRitter just completely implement his game plan shutting down Bo Nickel, and we saw Corey Sandhagen not really have to try because Figueiredo just slumped on the floor, leg locked, and put his wiener on his leg and thought that was good enough. So, anyways, let's just hop right into it. No Bickle, crazy fraud check. To be honest, I wasn't expecting this. I had DeRitter winning this fight, but to be honest, when I was looking at the walkouts, when I was looking at just them staring at each other in the middle, I was like, damn. I was like, DeRitter's like 6'4". Bo Nickel straight up looks like I know Bo Nickel's still big and he's still like strong, but like Bo Nickel was straight up looking like a little kid compared to DeRitter. But the thing that really kind of frustrated me about No Bickle, and the thing, actually, before I get to that, I see a lot of people right now, they're completely hopping off the Bo Nickel hype train, and I completely get it. I mean, he just didn't do anything in that fight, and I know one fight can kind of seem like the end of the world, but dude, it wasn't like he was trying to implement his grappling and it just was completely getting shutted down. And then on the feet, he showed not like to be honest, he just didn't show anything. It wasn't he attempted one takedown that he hit. It was an impressive takedown, and then landed some ground and pound, and then just let DeRitter do whatever he wanted. Like on the feet, he would throw he threw one overhand I think at the beginning of the fight, and then the rest of the time he just let DeRitter crash into him and let him clinch. Like he wasn't even throwing back to DeRitter, who's like face first, like throwing strikes. He just kept on like accepting DeRitter's shots and then accepting the clinch. And instead of going for takedowns off of the clinch, he was kind of just sitting there letting DeRitter knee you. So to be honest, it wasn't like Bo Nickel had this terrible performance where he got completely exposed. He just didn't do anything. He just straight up had a performance where you can't really dictate anything he did because he didn't do it. Like it showed his youth. It showed how inexperienced he is. I do think he'll be back, to be honest. Like I think he's gonna grind as hard as he possibly can. Like there's no way he's gonna go off like on that note. I think that I don't know. I mean, you thought he grinded at Penn State, bro. You better watch out. And I don't know. I think now he's kind of realizing he was kind of with his wrestling pedigree. He was kind of snobby about it. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna dominate everybody because my Penn State wrestling." And now I feel like he's probably realizing he needs to be way more well-rounded. He needs to be like more of a fighter. And yeah, to be honest, I think he'll be fine. To be honest, like I think a lot of people are just like pissed that their picks are wrong, and then like they're just like to clown on Bo Nickel because the UFC were trying to push him, and I get it. I do the same thing, but yeah, I think he'll be fine, to be honest. I think he'll just improve his striking. I think if he's just not scared to grapple, if he actually attempts takedowns and isn't scared about missing one, like I think he has it covered. But anyways, yeah, he was doing stuff like pulling a guillotine as a D1 wrestler when you were. I know he was probably gonna get reversed anyways, but like it was just the fact that you're that spazzy that you're gonna pull a guillotine. I don't know, it's whatever. But second round, you could kind of tell after all the knees he took, he was kind of like a deer in headlights. We saw DeRitter. The thing that also, I'll get to it with DeRitter, never mind. But yeah, we saw in the second round just Bo Nickel let DeRitter implement whatever he wanted, clinch game. DeRitter was going for takedowns while Bo Nickel was standing there letting it happen. And then after DeRitter did this really silly trip that messed up, and then Bo Nickel failed to capitalize on it, you could kind of see the glaze in his eye, like cover it. And yeah, it kind of seemed like he was like checked out. I'm not gonna say he quit because like I mean, getting squarely kneed in the body would like take down anyone, and he was already hurt there. But yeah, I just think, I mean, he just, I don't know. It's a pretty easy fight to you know review. Is just Bo Nickel one way traffic. He got kneed in the body consecutively, then started getting slapped by DeRitter. Didn't even look like punches in the clinch. It was just like little like noogie slaps, like it was like little brother shit. And then they got in the pocket, started exchanging. Then Bo Nickel got exposed, got dropped with the knee. And yeah, I think to be honest, I think Bo Nickel wasn't as hurt as he probably was. Like I know it probably hurt, but he got right up after the knee. And I just think that I don't know, I think he could have probably shot for a leg after that, but he kind of knew what was happening. He kind of saw the what was going to happen, and yeah, kind of exposed kind of his mentality. You didn't really see him grit down. You didn't really see him it really just exposed him for being like extremely raw in the sport. And yeah, it kind of showed in all of Bo Nickel's fights that he's kind of had the entire control of it. Like his opponents haven't really like pushed back in his game plan, and they haven't really showed any like adversity towards him. Like they haven't stuffed any takedowns and made him really grit down and grind on something, or like have to like do a little brawl on the feet. He's always had just one way traffic. Val Woodburn fucking just like getting knocked out in 1 second. And yeah, I think he'll be fine though. I think after he'll grind crazy after this. And I just think I don't know, I think his wrestling credentials, the one takedown he landed, and then he just didn't try the rest of the time. So you didn't really even get to see him at full peak performance. And once we see him actually like have a good performance and lose, then we can say he's not good enough. So yeah, I don't know. I think he'll be fine, but we'll never know. Let's just move on. Oh, anyways, I think he should fight Shara Magomedov next. Shara Magomedov, it was kind of a dream matchup before, but a lot of people didn't think it was going to happen. But now that Bo Nickel had that incredibly embarrassing performance, I think Shara Magomedov is going to be perfectly happy to re-welcome him back to the UFC. I know this doesn't really match up scheduling wise, but I don't think Shara Magomedov is in a big rush to get back into the UFC. He has a lot of other money opportunities in other parts of his life, so I think you should throw these two back in the ring, and hopefully one of them gets their hype back. And yeah, I think it's a fun little middleweight matchup. So yeah, let's move on. So Rainer de Ritter is a tricky customer, and it was a masterclass. So to be honest, I kind of see Rainer de Ritter as kind of the antithesis of Dricus du Plessis. I know they're both I know Dricus can grapple, but the only similarity, in my opinion, that they have is that they're kind of sloppy on the feet. But Dricus is more of a primarily sloppy striker where he's gonna grit down. He has a lot of power in his hands. But De Ritter doesn't have that. He has the same style of let's put my head in the center line so I can get hit. But he'll just tag you over and over and it'll get annoying. But De Ritter, where his goofiness excels is the grappling department. I think De Ritter gives crazy fits to even Dricus du Plessis in the grappling. I mean, the thing that I like about Rainer, he likes to put himself in risks to give himself better position. He gives up his neck, but he's so technical and good at not getting submitted that he's just able to I don't know, just control you and then get to a better position after. And I just like how he's able to flow so effortlessly, and even if he is goofy, I mean, it works. And honestly, I think he gives fits to Dricus in the grappling department. I know I already said that, but yeah, I think he had a great game plan. He used his size to his He used his size to his advantage. He was 6'5", 6'4", it looked like in there. He was actually trying takedowns. That's what I appreciated. Bo Nickel, being a D1 wrestler, wasn't trying any takedowns, and here's Rainer de Ritter, one champ. I know one champion is still good, but some random going out there attempting takedowns, and even when he failed, he's still trying, and he's still just going for positions and taking risks, which I really appreciate. He's composed at grappling. He doesn't really put himself in too many bad spots. He does he does puts himself in risk, but he's just so big and just so good at knowing which positions to be in. He can just escape it, then reverse, and then just get back to his feet, back to the clinch. And yeah, I think he implemented his striking after Bo Nickel was kind of compromised. You kind of saw I'm gonna be real. I think if De Ritter would have tried his goofy striking at the beginning, I think there's a chance he would have gone knocked out cold. But the way he was just able to wear on Bo Nickel, just repeated annoying ass knees to the center of the solar plex, I think perfect game plan, showed he was a nightmare matchup. And yeah, I think it was perfect. Also, another thing about the Dricus antithesis, he's the nicest guy ever. I know Dricus is a nice guy. He's funny, but this guy is the most wholesome, jolly guy ever. He all of his jokes are like funny, like wholesome stuff, and he's like calling out Strickland with a big smile on his face, being like, "I want the best American striker," and he's like Drickus is out here like going in his comment section like and calling his fans fat. Well, like I don't know. I think it would be a fun just antithesis sloppy man matchup. Rainer DeRitter versus Drew Plessis, but I do think Rainer DeRitter should fight the Killer Gorilla Jared Cannonier next. Now the reason why is because I know Jared Cannonier coming off his win against RoboCop, who's outside of the rankings, who only had one win before fighting Jared, who's number 7. But to be honest, Jared really has no position of power right now. Like in the top 6, he's fought I think almost all of them and lost every single one of them. So at this point, he's just a gatekeeper. He knows it, and I think he'll accept this fight. This will put him around like 7 in the rankings, and this would make the Sean Strickland fight make sense if that ever does happen. So I think this is good. Jared Cannonier, former heavyweight. I know he's not on the same size as Rainer DeRitter, but he's still got, you know, the size. He's been in a fight with someone that big of size. So I think it's an interesting matchup. I want to see if Jared Cannonier can stuff the takedowns, and yeah, let's move on. So, Fat Figgy and Psychedelic Sandhagen with the middest fight of the year. So, I bet $20 on Bo Nickel in the last fight, and it was 3-1 odds, and my buddy made 60 off of me. And so I doubled down on Figgy, and I witnessed Figgy just leg lock for 10 minutes while repeatedly getting punched in the head. He just thought putting his wiener on Corey Sandhagen's leg and just like humping it really hard was gonna work. I guess that was his game plan. But in all seriousness, I know Figgy was going for the grappling heavy approach, but after Corey Sandhagen is in a UFC fight with Umar Nurmagomedov and he's not laying up any takedowns, what makes you think that you would be able to get the takedowns? I don't know. I just think Figgy, it was just a questionable game plan from the start. You could always tell that Figgy was uncomfortable with the range of Corey Sandhagen, just like the overall reach. But to be honest, it wasn't like Sandhagen was doing some crazy like spinning flying wheel kick, little flying armbar, like little kick flying armbar. You get what I'm saying. It wasn't like Sandhagen was being like crazy dynamic. It was literally leg kick, put your arms out, assess the range, leg kick, do a bunch of fidgets, jab, jab. It wasn't a lot. Like Figgy could have, if he wanted to, bite down in his mouthpiece and just have a match with Corey Sandhagen. But he decided he already was gonna lose on the feet and that the only way he was gonna win was grappling. And so he attempted 8 leg locks, got hit over and over, and then they kept on going back up on the feet, and Figgy, he would land like a leg kick or two, but like you could tell that like Figgy was just checked out. It was after round 2, I think, where you saw like I think it was Figgy, he got taken down or he got reversed after trying to take Corey Sandhagen down, and you see him push off the hips of Corey Sandhagen, then you see him get up and you can just tell he's gassed. Like I didn't think the fat Figgy thing was an actual like thing. I thought it was just him eating a little nicely because he's at 135 and he's like 5'1", so he's just able to do it. But he's actually fat. He was actually obese before the fight. I mean, he was really breathing heavily before like the second Sandhagen takedown. Like I think Sandhagen could have gotten a knockout like finish if he would have just stayed on the feet, because like Figgy was just like he wasn't even moving to. It wasn't like he was like doing this like calculated movements. It just seemed like he was just flat-footed waiting for Sandhagen to throw whatever he needed to throw at him, and he was just vulnerable. He was just a punching bag at a point. But then Sandhagen, being a grappler, the fact that Sandhagen, like people were saying, oh, Sandhagen beats O'Malley. The fact that people were saying that, oh my God. I mean, Corey Sandhagen took the least path of resistance, went for a leg lock, and then transitioned it to a weird leg breaking calf slicer thing, and then Figgy just tapped, or he winced in pain and it was over. But yeah, I think, to be honest, it was Sandhagen had a good performance, sure. A lot of people are calling for a title shot even though he won one fight. And I saw Marcus McGee is fighting Peter Yan, even though Peter Yan, dude, I just want any sort of logic in UFC matchmaking. Like if they give Corey Sandhagen a title shot after this, where Figueiredo is just one-way traffic the entire time, I'm gonna be super upset. I mean, Peter Yan is fighting number 15 ranked Marcus McGee, while Corey Sandhagen will fight for the title after beating one of Peter Yan's victims. It doesn't matter. It's whatever. But yeah, I think Sandhagen would get whooped by O'Malley. That's another thing. I think Corey Sandhagen is still extremely overrated on the feet. I do think he has the potential of being good. He looks like he's about to spry out and do some crazy shit, and then he'll just hit you with an inside leg kick and then another leg kick. And I know he didn't really even need to show off that much on the feet in this fight, but like, I don't know, I wish you would have. I mean, it didn't seem like Figueiredo was really like trying anything. So, I mean, I wish man. You just gotta wish for these things. But yeah, Figueiredo, he was just tired, he was fat, and he's just not gonna be the same person ever again. And it's really sad to see. I like Figueiredo, but I mean, after just all these like bantamweight just fights that don't really mean anything, they just count up. And at this point, I think he should either retire or do one last fight against Henry Cejudo. I think that's a really fun fight. Two former flyweight champions who had a really good long reign, and I think it would just be fun to see them both like scrap it out. Um, and there's really no other fights for Henry Cejudo in this instance, so I think it would be good for a retirement fight for Henry Cejudo. And I think Corey Sandhagen should fight Sean O'Malley or Merab Dvalishvili, whoever loses from that. I think it would be a fun number one contenders fight if it's Sean O'Malley, because I don't know, it's just a fun striking matchup. I do think Corey Sandhagen could probably win just based off of grappling. And yeah, I think it would be great. It would be great. It would be great. And yeah, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe and like the video. Thank you. Goodbye.